Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Trevor Jackson, and this is Off Script with RoJay.
I'm ready.
What's up? It's Off Script with your man RoJay, and no real script, just conversations with the real ones, my man.
What up, man? How are you
doing,
dog?
Mr. Trevor Jackson?
Thanks
How's
for having
everything
me,
going
dog.
with
It's
you?
going great, man. It's going great. Life
Got
is
the
good.
album out. You're continuously recording TV shows. You out here touring. You're doing everything, man.
Yeah, man.
Everything entertainment-wise. Has there ever been a point in your life where people have tried to pigeonhole you into doing like one thing?
Absolutely, all the time. But I say, you live once, and you should use everything that God gave you. I think it'd be selfish to not use things. And even if let's say I wasn't the greatest singer or I wasn't the greatest whatever, it's even just the passion for it. I feel like you always have to feed that part of yourself. If something brings you a lot of joy and brings you a lot of, safety and comfort and, do that.
Right.
And I always say, like, I could wake up tomorrow and feel like I want to stop everything and be a painter, and I should have the freedom to do that. I should never feel pigeonholed into anything, even, things I've created for myself. So I always say follow that, because I don't think it comes to you by accident. I think everything's pretty intentional, so.
Gotta love that. Now, when I'm gonna tell you a secret, I'm probably gonna embarrass myself by this. Years ago, I actually came across you, American Crime. I think it was. That's what probably my first real introduction to you. But I know you were getting your feet wet way before that or whatever. But I hear the name Trevor Jackson. I'm really thinking you're part of the Jackson family because you're singing and acting. I thought you were part of the Jackson lineage.
For a long time, people thought that, and I thought that was so funny. I said, dude, if I would be at the house, bro. I'd be at the mansion, I'd be talking. No, that would be cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is wild to me because I was just like, okay, not that Jackson is not an average last name in a sense, but that's also an extraordinary last name.
Yeah. And he's from Indiana. I'm from Indiana, so a lot of people are like, "Oh, you guys are." Hey, man, I'm a giant Michael Jackson fan, and I'm super inspired by him. So he does feel like family in terms of how much he's been in my life, But.
Okay. Now I know you. If I'm wrong, always feel free to correct me. You started out in the acting first.
I actually started out tap dancing. That was the very first thing I did. I was 3 years old, and I fell in love with Gregory Hines. And because he was on TV, I was like, he's an actor, he's dancing, and he's singing in the movie that I had seen. I was like, I want to be that guy. He just was so cool, so graceful, had a lot of swag to him, and I was like, yeah, that. In every room I walk in, I want to be that guy, So that was kind of like my introduction to everything. And I tapped for a long time, like competing around the U.S., and then I did Lion King, the Broadway show. So that was everything. I was singing and dancing. So they all have kind of been playing, intertwining with each other. Intertwining, that's the word.
Anything more challenging than the next for you?
I guess it depends when I'm doing it, Some days it's really easy to act, other days it's hard. Some days it's easy to sing, other days it's hard. It's all about kind of what I'm going through, For instance, this album, I Love You Goodbye, the greatest breakup album of all time, it was really easy to write because it was just everything I thought I was putting down into paper, and sometimes it's hard to sing. You know what I mean? Because it's emotions that I let go and I hadn't accessed them in a long time. So sometimes I'll be on stage and I'm like, ooh, this is a little difficult to get through because it's emotional. But other days it's really fun. It brings me a lot of joy. So.
Okay. Now, how do you tap into that? Because, not necessarily tap into it, but how do you channel being vulnerable, the transparency, but also entertaining? How do you channel that?
I think the most entertaining thing is real. I try not to put on too much. I try to be as real as I can. I think people are always captivated by that. When you see a good performance, it's somebody that's not trying to perform. They're just feeling so intently. You're like, whoa. You bring out the empath in people. Right. I think that's the goal as an artist, is to make people go, oh shoot, you know what I mean? Internally, and then that's how you connect. So I try not to overthink performing. I just try to take everything real in my life and create art out of it. Whether I'm super happy or super sad, or I've always done that. I feel like I can't contain a lot of my emotions. That's why I make music, because I'll explode if they just stay inside of me. You know what I mean? So I have outlets, whether that's music or TV. There's been times where I've maybe been in a relationship and broke up with somebody, and the next day my scene was like breaking up with somebody. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So that's like a gift from God. You're good. You're good. Come on in, brother.
No problem. Oh. All right. There we go.
And we're back.
All right, and we're back. So you're on the Healing Out Loud tour.
Yeah.
Just pretty much had your run with that. You're healing out loud per se, but you're doing this night after night in front of people.
Yeah.
Does it make the healing easier or harder? Like, are you not able to?
It makes it easier. It makes it, the affirmations I already had with creating it are confirmed when I'm on tour and people are coming up to me like, yo, I'm going through a divorce, or hey, this just happened, or I was on my bathroom floor crying last night because my dude, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm like, oh, so I'm doing the right thing. You know, I feel like I'm in the right place. And that's just all the confirmation I need to know that my intention when I was creating it wasn't just about me. I was doing it because I know, again, when you create something real, someone's going to grab onto it. Right. Someone's going to be able to attach themselves to it. So then when there's proof in that, it's like, oh, dude, keep doing that over and over again, whatever it is in your life. You know, when I have kids, I'm going to be writing songs about kids. When I have a wife, I'm going to write songs about my wife. I'm, you know, losing my grandparents or whatever. I'm always going to write in those places because everybody has to go through that. Right. And I want people to have a place to go to feel heard, feel understood, feel safe, you know?
Okay, now we're currently at the Greatest Breakup album, but before the Greatest Breakup, it was a little complicated. It was just looking, are they connected at all? It's just the same situation.
So they're backwards, right? The breakup is first, and then sometimes you might still see that person. Right. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like it's complicated. It's like we used to be together, but we kind of have a lot of chemistry, but we know we're not good for each other. Right. So that's kind of like what it's complicated is about. This is kind of the prequel. And then the next project is a continuation.
Gotcha. Now I'm gonna ask this, and I'm not putting him on the spot at all, but I gotta ask you, when it comes to the relationships and you're writing these songs and you're in the creative process, have you found yourself, like you, Trevor, being the more toxic one? Or is it usually your partner?
I think it could be 50-50. I mean, I'm not perfect. I know that. I think I'm a good communicator though. Okay. And so that's I think toxicity comes when you don't know how to speak or express yourself. Right. I feel like I try to be as clear as I can, I've gotten a lot better at that. That's with practice, more relationships, more I'm like, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta say this, you gotta, be aware of that. I have been toxic in the past. Okay. I wouldn't say I'm as much anymore.
It's growth. It's growth, right? Life, it's growth. Dude, there's actually a line in your song, I Love You. I'm probably going to screw this up. And I practiced this line, and I'm going to screw this line up. You're good. Your flaws, but
they fit you.
They fit you. Yeah. What would you say is one of your most perfect flaws?
My perfect flaw? Love. Maybe I love too much. Okay. We're doing an interview. Come in. If you come in, you gotta stay in. We're doing an interview.
I'm thinking I'm keeping all of this.
You have to. No, you have
We're keeping all of this.
I'm sorry. Lock that, John P. King.
Too funny.
One more time. What was it good?
Your most perfect flaw.
Oh. Yeah, I think I just love people, you know what I mean? I just love really hard. Maybe also I don't like being alone. Okay. I don't think that's a perfect flaw. I think that's just a flaw. Yeah. Those are my top two.
Oh, okay. He was really adamant about this, like, don't like to be alone. When did you kind of discover that characteristic of self? Like, what were you going through at that time in your life where you was just like, you know what, I need something physical here?
I think I've always felt like that. Even when I was a kid, I slept in my brother's room my whole life until I hated being by myself. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's hard for me to go to bed. I just think too much. My mind's everywhere. That's why I got dogs. In case I am alone, I got my dogs. I'm holding my dog. I think the human experience is such a mystery. The only thing that brings me peace is knowing that something else alive is doing it too. Mm-hmm. And that brings me solace. That brings me comfort. That's probably why. Okay. Now, you are currently on Grey's Anatomy, which is like one of the longest running medical dramas. I'm going to tell you a secret. Yeah. I watched Grey's Anatomy for about 20,000 years, and then I decided, if y'all not going to go, I'm going to go. I can't do this every week. Emotional abuse, If y'all not going to go.
Emotional, like, you know what? They going to keep y'all around.
That's funny.
So I broke out after like the COVID season. So pretty much like the new class, I haven't watched any of that. And then they, of course, released this news that my guy Trevor Jackson's on. I'm just like, they're not gonna get me back. They're not gonna do this to me. We're not gonna. What would you say is like the best part of being included in a vehicle like that?
Excuse me. I'm gonna drink a little water. I will say that my favorite part about that show are the people on the show. Like from cast to crew to wardrobe to like everybody, just the sweetest group of people, and I think that's why it's been able to be on for so long, because people like going to work with those people.
Right.
But when I came in there, bro, I was like, I could not believe how kind. I was like, are you guys talking to me?
Right.
It's just so sweet, but they're like that to everybody. So I think that's my favorite part. It's a job that doesn't feel like a job. I feel like I get to go hang out with people I really care about, and also as an actor, you just want to feel. You want to feel safe enough to take risks as an actor, and I feel like all of the actors and directors and everybody, it makes everybody feel that way. It's like, yo, try that, do that. And, you know, that's how you grow also, is get out of your comfort zone, but you don't do that in front of everybody. It's like friends. Like, you're not going to say your darkest secrets in a room full of strangers. You're going to wait till just your friends are in the room.
Right.
And then, you know, so that would be my favorite part, I think, just the people. And then if I'm going to add on to that, I would say I love seeing the blood and stuff, you know what I mean? It's sick, bro. And I even get queasy.
That's the part that creeps the people out.
I know. It creeps me out sometimes too, but I like that. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, why does that make me want to throw up? It's cool.
Yes. So another successful show that you were a part of course, is Grownish. And another tidbit about me, I watched it when you guys were on, and after a while I just started doing everything else. And then I caught up when we were like quarantined, and I was like, I don't know why I stopped watching the show, but I did watch all of it. Pretty good. So I did watch.
I haven't seen all of it. You're better than me.
Yeah, but you on there with Chloe, Halle, Diggy, all, you know, a lot of creators.
Yeah, incredible.
What's the difference on a set like Grey's Anatomy and then being on the set with more so your peers and creators and everybody that's doing more than one thing? How are the sets different?
They're a little quieter.
Okay.
On Grey's. If I'm around people, know I'm on set, because like we heard Trevor before we saw him. I'm singing between takes. I'm making beats. I'm talking to people, making people laugh. Like, that's just who I am. That's also how I survive at a job. Even if I worked at a 9 to 5, I'm not about to sit there and be quiet and just look around and just like, we're gonna make this shit fun.
Right.
Been here all day. So I'm gonna entertain myself while also trying to entertain you.
Right.
But on Grownish, everybody's doing that. Me and Dig are on, you know, beats, making songs. Chloe and Halle, you know what I mean? Everybody's just super creative like that. But also on the show, Alexis is a singer, writer. She's dope. Nico's dope. We're always talking about superheroes and shit, like surfing. He's also a surfer. Me, him, and Kev go surf sometimes. It's a good group, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big screen versus small screen. We got to bring up Superfly, of course.
Let's go.
You know, there was. I felt like we needed a few more installments of that. That was.
You're not the only one. That
was pretty dope. But you were working with, like, I'm sure, some idols, some legends in that movie.
Absolutely.
Does that make you a little more nervous? Because at this point you're a vet on set.
I still don't feel like that. But
when you have someone that's been doing this for X amount of years, does it make does it make it harder for you or easier for you?
I think what was the most nerve-wracking about that was I was a lead of a giant movie, you know, and I was 20.
Okay.
I was still like a kid, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that was difficult, but it was fun. I mean, I always approach, even when I'm scared, I jump. And I always tell people that, I'm like, yo, it's okay to be scared of taking a leap in life, but still do it. You know, it would be weird if you weren't scared.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that was the thing. It was a lot, you know? But I was living my dream. I grew up watching Blade and watching Matrix and stuff, so like the leather jacket, the trench coat, like that was like, oh, this is tight. You know what I mean?
You knew you was ready.
Some slow-mo kicks into the face, like, it was cool.
Here I was, I just wanted to be a Power Ranger.
Yeah.
So
hey, fire, I wanted to be a Power Ranger too.
Which color?
Blue.
Okay, I was a Black Ranger, so we're saying we could be part of the same team.
But the messed up part of that movie is everybody thought I really sold drugs. I had so many people walking up to me like, hey man, I got that. And I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Dude?
That's wild. It's not that type of party.
Not that part. For actors.
That part. So back to the album, actually. There's several genres per se on this album, like across the board. So it's safe to say that I'm sure because you're a young black male, they like to just say you're an R&B artist.
Exactly, which is so annoying.
You're just an artist, right?
There's pop records on my album. There's country records on my album. All of it. You know what I mean? But they always do that. But when they do our stuff, it's pop.
It's pop. Yeah.
So funny to me.
Yeah.
Message.
When did you? Well, I'm not gonna say when did you decide, but I'm sure that's in you. it seems like you just do what you want to do. When
That's exactly, yeah. You have to, though, because you live like, I just don't feel right. That's almost like sickening if I'm, like, because I've done that before in my life. When I got signed to Atlantic Records when I was 15. So I did a lot of things people told me to do that maybe didn't sit right with me.
Right.
You know? And it could be something as small as, hey, I want the letters to look like this. And they're like, we want to look like that. And I'm like, okay. And every time I see the letters, it's like scratching a scab and the shit's like bleeding. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Kind of upsetting in a sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So in reality, it doesn't seem like you get a lot of no's. I'm sure you get a few.
No, I get
a lot of no's, or you don't kind of.
But
take
what I
no
did was
for an
I've
answer.
created a system to where I'm not with a label. I'm an independent label, and I get to do what I want.
Right.
I got my brother who knows that it's our vision, and we're working on all this stuff together. It's what we want to do.
Right.
It's our imprint that we're trying to leave, and if someone else is always influencing that, it's not our imprint anymore.
Right. Okay. Well, we're going to go off the script for real quick. A few quick questions, battle round, speed round with you real quick.
Let's do it.
So, first thing come to mind or an interesting story behind it. So, have you ever recorded a song in one take?
No, I'm too meticulous for that. I've recorded melody, though, in one take. Like, I've done a melody, whole melody to a song, like no words, and then just gone back and written that. But, no, I'm too particular. I'll hear stuff, I'm like, oh, that's gotta be better, that's gotta be better, that's gotta be better, gotta add some harmonies here, gotta be better. You know what I mean?
Right. One song that you may have, or did you feel didn't get its just due?
All of my songs. I should get Grammys for all of my songs.
Right.
That's how I feel.
Biggest challenge while recording?
I think not knowing when it's gonna come out. Sometimes I might take the drive out of it a little bit because I'm sitting on like 4 albums right now. Okay. So if I'm recording something, I'm just like, if it's so good, I'm like, when does this get to come out?
Right.
That's probably the most difficult.
Okay, last one, dream collaboration.
I hate this question because I always think of someone else when I leave.
And you do every genre, so you got plenty of people to choose from.
Rascal Flatts, I'll go there.
Okay, dopeness. Yeah.
I was playing that on the bus. He was mad last night. He was like, this is not the time to be playing Rascal Flatts.
What time was it?
It was too late. It was too late to play that.
It was too late. There was too many people on the bus. It was like, we're trying to...
Make sure you cut this part out. No one was on the bus. No one was on the bus. Cut that.
Well, yes, that was off the script with my man Trevor Jackson. As you can see,
hey,
I know
man.
you're about to kill it on the stage.
Thank you, bro. You got to stay for the show?
Of course.
Let's do it.
Why not? We're going to make it do what we do.
Appreciate
you,
One love, bro.
Yes.
God bless y'all.